All right, welcome to the show, everybody. Back for another one. Got a big show for you tonight. But first, boys, how you been this week?
Fantastic. Can't complain. Wow. What an amazing week.
I sense a little sarcasm.
Getting ready for football. Man, love this time of year. So fun.
He's just a little up in arms about that Jets offensive line. It's getting to him.
Look like Swiss cheese.
Between that and the Titans trying to figure out who's worse, Levis or Malik the Freak, he's just been all out of sorts.
Well, I got a text from you saying you thought Levis was looking good. So what happened?
I still stand by that. I thought Levis looked great. And I thought Malik,
Mrs. Levis looked phenomenal.
Jesus, here we go. Not even a minute in.
Malik, I just didn't. I don't see how if you play like that against a bunch of the second, third, fourth, whoever stringers are out there, how it's going to look against the first team. I can't picture it in my mind. So, saw a lot of potential for Levis with the Titans. Still think Tannehill's going to have a great year. Really excited about that. But you know,
did you race to the window to bet Tannehill to win the MVP, AJ?
No, definitely didn't.
Really? I thought for sure you'd have been the first in line.
What were the odds? What was it? Was it pretty?
I don't know. I'm sure they're like 1 gazillion to 1. Probably got a better chance of winning the Powerball.
I don't think anybody really wins the Powerball once it gets big. I think they just, the government wins that.
Yeah,
gotcha.
True.
Yeah. Anything else going on, John Boy? How has your coaching escapades been since we last talked to you?
Oh man, we won our first tournament. Super excited.
Nice.
Remember, I put the pictures in the group chat we got.
I mean, that's impressive for those girls. With having you as a coach and they still found a way to win, God, give it to them for sure.
Hey, it's nothing like going into the championship game on Sunday and all the parents telling you as you walk by, don't screw this up, coach. You know what I mean? And that's in 8U softball. Just wait till it's like 18U. I mean,
it'll be bad.
I'll look like Billy Martin, hired and fired 5 times by the Yankees.
Yeah.
So, and then coaching the local girls high school team here, man, they're a really good group of kids. I really like them. Good girls. CB, the head coach, he's an awesome dude. So, yeah, man, things are looking up. God is good. Baseball's been rough. I lost in the past 5 days. I've lost 9 more games having the lead late. So that now makes 34 games for a 74.6 unit swing where I had the lead going into the 9th. The Yankee game, I was up 7-1 going into the 9th inning and lost 8-7.
Jesus. How many games over 500 are we in baseball?
It's down to 25. 25 and 19.67 units up, but we're down 3.8 units for the year because of the NHL and NBA playoffs. So you might say, John, there's no way you're getting to 150. Watch me work.
No. Maybe we should start taking your baseball picks and flip them and go with the other side.
Look, man, when you lose that many games with the league going into the 9th inning, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you want me to
luck,
do?
Man. Yeah.
So, here's what it is.
Yeah, we'll bounce back. Football we can see it from here. It's so close we can taste it.
Football, I feel good. College basketball would be great. Look, I'm still not giving up on baseball, so.
We've historically, last year was a very out of the ordinary. Hockey is usually very good. We had a bad hockey year, which we have not had in ever.
7 years.
Probably that bad, yeah. So
it's all good, man. It's listen, like I always say, I can't tell you how we're going to get there. All I can tell you is we're going to get there, right? Yep. So that just means you should be super excited because if it's happened 13 years in a row, it's going to happen 14. So now there's no choice. NFL, college football, and college basketball, and March Madness, and NHL regular season, and NBA regular season, everybody's going to make a ton of money for very little cost.
Yep.
I mean, listen, if you're $100 better and you get on board, after you pay us in juice, I'm going to make you $5,000 if you listen. If you're $1,000 better, I'm going to make you $50,000 if you listen. So, and that's after juice and after you pay me. So it's all about what you want to do. But again, it's a long season. It starts August 26th. It'll end February 12th or whatever with the Super Bowl. You're not going to win every week. So, but we got some great promos, some great stuff going on. Hit me up, John at bccsports.com if you truly want to win. Or you can sit around your local sports bar with all your buddies and talk about all your bets that you won, that you didn't, and why you're broke.
Wow, it's just a
because I won't be broke
all the way around.
There's nobody better, and I'm actually excited. The year has been so rough because hitting 150 this time will be better than hitting 288 last year because nobody appreciates 288, and most of these guys hopped on the tail end, so they just think I'm full of smoke. So now I'm gonna bring the fire.
There you go. I'm excited. I'm excited for football. We're always excited for football. It's what we all look forward to all year, and it's so close. So, what college football kicks off next weekend? I know Notre Dame will be playing 26th. In their Shamrock Series against Navy. So, I'm excited, man. Ready to get rolling here.
USC hits the ground run against San Jose State.
Nice, very nice. All right,
hey, we got a new sponsor, by the way.
Really? What's her name?
This is breaking news. Who we got?
No, so I'm working through this.
Ben Gay.
Yes, we've all been there.
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah.
No, listen, I'm working through this new ad spot. It's something that goes like this. It's where it's like, all right, today's sponsor is bccsports.com. Right? Like we don't need no sponsors. We are the sponsor.
Yeah, we need those sponsored dollars though, baby. That's
Oh yeah, we do. And surely we'll accept that. But look, I mean, usually the spot is the advertisement. Look, mother freakers, this is the whole episode is the spot. This is the advertisement for bccsports.com. So go check us out at bccsports.com. See all the packages, or email Jon at bccsports.com to find out something special.
Yeah.
He's got
no sales, just winners.
Yeah. There you go.
So if you want to get sold, go find somebody else to give you picks. You want to get winners, you come to me.
Wow. You're feeling real
bada
saucy.
bing, bada boom.
I like it.
Yeah.
And all you people out there that would like to sponsor, I don't have room for you because we already got Manscaped, Law Offices of Cochran and Cochran, Trojan Extends Edition. I'd like to thank all of them for all their hard work and support.
Not a chance.
Yeah, we're holding those spots.
Starry, can't forget your favorite.
Starry,
Little
and,
Debbie.
Yep. Warm KY hopped on last week.
Jesus.
Oh boy.
Astroglide's in the works. So we got a lot of things going on here.
Yeah. Wilson for all the balls I got flying around in my life.
Wow, this went off the rails. All right, let's jump into talking about some sports. Let's kick it off with a little baseball. Obviously,
and pack sun because I'm in there like swimwear.
You could have stopped while you were far behind. Like, we didn't need that bullshit there at the end. That just made it way worse. Okay. Focus, everyone.
Yeah.
Obviously, getting late in the season here. Wild card race starting to heat up a little bit. We can kind of go. We haven't really gone through the standings in baseball in a while. You just want to do a quick run through of the top 3 teams in each division?
Sure. You got standings pulled up?
Of course I do.
Yeah, well,
this is my first rodeo.
I'm not allowed to do those things according to HR.
Yeah, no.
They said I got some letter about they need to see the moneymaker, so here I am.
Yep, absolutely. All right, we'll start off with the American League. Obviously, the East, Baltimore Orioles are ahead. Rays 2.5 games back. Toronto's 8 games back there. I mean, still kind of.
Yeah, but Toronto's got the last wild card spot.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll jump in here.
Game and a half up on the Mariners.
So we'll look at the Central. Obviously, has been the worst division in baseball this year. The Minnesota Twins lead. Cleveland is 4.5 games back. Detroit 8 games back, and just stop talking at that point. And then the West, Rangers are 2.5 games up on the Astros. Mariners 7 games back. Yeah, looking at the wild card, like you mentioned, Tampa Bay is plus 5.5. The Astros are plus 3, and then Toronto's even a game and a half up on the Mariners. So we'll jump here and look at the National League. The Braves just absolutely dominating. They're 12.5 games up on the Phillies. And yeah, that's all you need to say about the East. Central, Milwaukee is 3 games up on the Cubs, who are 3 games up on the Cincinnati Reds. And then looking out the West, the Dodgers lead by 9.5 games over the Giants. And yeah, you don't need to mention any more about that. Looking at the National League wild card, You have the Phillies that are 3.5 games up. San Fran is 1.5 games up. Then the Cubs, Marlins, and Reds are all in a dead tie. So close in the National League for the wild card for sure. And still a little room for play in the American League.
Well, in the National League, you got, a 3-way tie now for the last spot, Cubs, Reds, and Marlins.
Literally what I just said.
And
goes to show you don't listen.
I wasn't. And D-backs a game and a half back.
Go figure.
Remember, I said earlier in the year, I said I like the Cubbies to make a run.
You did say
Remember? I said I like the Cubbies. So the Cubbies are going to get in there. The Marlins aren't going anywhere. The Padres, we know they're done.
Kind of looks that way.
The Reds are interesting, but I don't think they're going to get in. The Giants would
sneaky good. I mean, they're
I
right
like
there.
the Cubs. I like the Cubs. Now
You
listen,
just like going to Wrigley is all you like.
yeah, if you're talking about bets, again, the Braves to win the National League are plus 140, so you can't bet them. There's not enough value. And the Dodgers are plus 170 just because, well, everybody likes to choke the chicken of the Dodgers. The bet to win the National League is the Phillies plus 1,000. That's great value. I'm telling you, it's Phillies Braves. That's your NLCS.
Yeah.
Right?
Good value for sure. Can't argue with
So in the American League, Orioles plus 430. The Rays, you can count them out. They're done. Blue Jays plus 950. I still don't think they're better than the Rangers or the Astros, but yeah. Yeah. And I still like the Rangers plus 800 to win it all.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
From a value, again, I think
value
this comes down.
standpoint, for sure.
I think that now Verlander to Houston does kind of change things.
Does.
But I'm going to stick with what I said back in May.
Mm-hmm.
Rangers, Orioles, Braves, Phillies.
Yeah.
I said it back in May. I called it.
Yep.
And
It's
I said the Rays would slide. There's 40 games left. They better be thankful they're up 5.5 games because their whole pitching staff's going out the window. And again, they feasted off bad teams. And now, well, never mind. That's a bad.
Let it go. Don't you dare. Yeah, talking about the Rays, obviously they lose their ace McClanahan. He will miss the rest of the year.
Warrior in a jail cell.
Nope, let it go. All of 2024 with Tommy John, so huge loss for the Rays losing their ace. Yeah, I agree. Lucky to be where they are. Kind of.
Their whole pitching staff gets hurt every year. Like somebody's got to talk about the trainers up there.
Yeah,
I mean, seriously,
warm weather.
Their whole pitching staff, Glass now, McClanahan, Fairbanks. I mean, like all their pitchers get hurt every year.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not wrong. For sure. I was going to say, I think it's interesting. Remember how bad the Rangers were at the beginning of last year? Like we laughed. They were horribly bad. And to think they've like wheeled it all back in a season and have a good shot at making a run at this thing. So impressive for them to kind of put the wheels back on the bus and turn this thing around because God, they were awful last year.
Yeah.
All right. We will,
Texas, I'm impressed.
Yep. We'll, I guess we got to talk about this. The Yankees. What the hell happened? Like the wheels have completely fallen off the bus in the Bronx. I mean, I don't even have words for this point. Judge is pissed off, not happy with the level of effort, which, I mean, they're 14.5 games back. You might as well put a fork in them. I think they're done at this point. Unless they just go on a hellacious run. But with only 40 games left, I mean.
Yeah, they're 7.5 back in the wild card. Listen, this is a great example. And we all know this. We've all worked for companies in the past, right? And this is why this company is so great because I'm all about Make America Great Again here at BCCS Sports.
Absolutely.
Right? Is leadership will destroy anything. Horrible leadership can take the most beautiful thing and destroy it.
Yeah.
And that's the New York Yankees.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Joe Biden.
You got a guy that hit a Game 7 home run walk-off against your arch rival. Mm-hmm. And that home run, everybody fails to look at Aaron Boone's career and realize he sucked. That home run got him a job at ESPN, which he was a god-awful announcer, maybe the
Wasn't
worst they've
good.
ever had.
It was bad.
And then got him a job with the Yankees. And then, I hate to tell a little Steinbrenner, but you ain't your daddy. You ain't got, your dad had brass balls. Okay? You got little squeezy ones that dogs chew on. You got nothing, pal. And Cashman, first of all, you just look like a pedophile, dude. So you shouldn't even have a job that's.
Here we go.
The Yankees are an absolute disaster because of piss poor leadership.
Mhm.
Piss poor leadership.
Agreed.
Okay? And you're spending money. You know, I love this. Everybody chase. Have you ever noticed this? The people that chase money in life never have it. Have you ever
that's
noticed
true.
that?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? But they're the
Agreed.
people that have the most money go through their hands. It's a wild thing. But they can't nurture it, and they're not disciplined enough, and they got piss poor leadership skills. So it doesn't matter if you put $3 million through their hands in a month or $30 million. They'll just spend it recklessly.
Mhm.
A la Stanton. I mean, the New York Yankees, when I was at the game a couple weeks back with my buddy Ken, I think they have like 3 guys hitting over 250.
It's not good.
And there was like 4 guys hitting under 200. How in the hell do you got guys that can't bat 220 in your lineup and you're the Bronx Bombers?
Yeah. Also, I mean,
Bombed on cocaine, maybe, not on hitting the ball out of the infield.
and you look at the Yankee Stadium, probably the most hitter-friendly ballpark in all of baseball.
Yeah, look, the backyard of my house is longer than right field in Yankee Stadium.
So that makes it even worse for sure.
And now you got Aaron Judge that's all peed off about the effort. Well, duh, dude. Of course you are. Because you realized I love New York and I love the Yankees, but I'll never win anything with Aaron Buffoon.
Do you think there's any chance that they, like, if this thing goes the way we think it's going to go at this point, the way it looks, I mean, they may be 7.5 back in the wild card, but I
They're
don't
not
see
making
them
the
making a
playoffs.
run.
There's no way. They don't have the. Here's the other
Does
thing.
that
The
mean
Yankees-
Cashman and Boone lose their job? Finally, we thought they should have lost it last year.
Well,
Is
listen.
this finally the straw that breaks the camel's back?
if they don't get canned, somebody needs to go dig up old man Steinbrenner. You know, what's those commercials where they got, you know, the guys, his arms falling off in my day? What's that, Upwork or whatever?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. They need to dig old man Steinbrenner up so he can pimp slap the crap out of his son and tell him he's a disgrace to the whole family name.
I mean, I don't see I thought they both should have been canned last year. I don't see a world where they can both keep their jobs after this season. I mean,
No.
It has been an epic collapse. And I hear the excuse, well, we didn't have Judge for a while. Yeah, it didn't matter. It still hasn't mattered since he
I
came back.
also
You're still
heard
playing
about
like
how
shit.
they had the greatest farm system in baseball the past 2 years. Now that all those guys have taken the field, they're worse than freaking the A's.
It's not good. Yeah.
I mean, that possum in Oakland has rounded the bases more than any Yankees player outside of Judge, for God's sakes.
You're not wrong.
He's also dropped more bombs than the Yankees this year.
Jesus Christ. All right, yeah. Yeah, I it's just, it's laughable how bad it's been. I mean, we kind of talked about it. They got out of the gate slow, but it has just been a quick descent downward for the Yankees all season, and it doesn't look like it's getting better anytime soon. So, all right, we are going to turn our attention to a quick little NBA. Obviously, Harden and Embiid here with the 76ers, scrubbing social media. What's our take on this whole kerfuffle situation?
Well, again, sorry, I hate to be all American here,
Uh-oh.
but this is the problem. Entitled people that are selfish and feel like they're owed the world. James Harden is just another street ball scorer. And if I hear one more person tell me that he deserves to be a Hall of Famer, you don't know anything about basketball. Listen, if I took 70 shots, I could average 30. They had to come up with a rule because he flopped his way into 75% of his points being from the free throw line. The guy was more about strip clubs than playing the game. Any team, and that just goes to show you how screwed up the Clippers are. They're the only team interested in him. Nobody, listen, you sign Kyrie or James Harden because you realize my franchise is a dumpster fire, so I at least got to sell tickets and jerseys. Not because you plan on winning anything. Because neither two of those losers are winning anything unless you pair them with LeBron.
Yeah.
The process in Philadelphia, again, this is why you should never tank like they did to get Embiid. Because even if you get an Embiid, they've muffed it the whole way through. Every general manager, every head coach, the Ben Simmons, remember they draft Markelle Fultz instead of Jason Tatum. I mean, it doesn't matter if you tank and you get the number one pick. They've proven when you're a disgraceful franchise, you'll continue, no matter who you get, to be a disgraceful franchise.
Yep.
Look at Cleveland. Take LeBron James out of the situation. They're no better than a first-round playoff team forever. Not before him, after him, sorry. It's the best they'll ever be. Won't ever happen again.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like Lillard's agent say, "Oh, if you don't do this, no free agent's going to ever want to come to Portland." Nobody's going to Portland anyway, dummies.
Nah, that place is on fire anyway.
Why would you go to Portland?
Nah, I don't think
All
anybody's
right, so
signing up for that.
This
right
whole
now.
James Harden calling out Daryl Morey, he's giving you more money than you could have ever dreamed of. James Harden is a selfish, ball-hogging piece of crap that come playoff time, what's he did in the playoffs?
You're not wrong.
What's he ever did in the playoffs? A good game here or there, but for a series, he hides and shrivels. He shrivels like me in a cold outdoor shower in the middle of a blizzard.
God,
That's
what
how
an
much
awful
he
visual.
shrivels.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, you need the biggest set of tweezers and magnifying glass ever. That's James Harden come playoff time.
Damn.
So I'm not playing for the 76ers. You know what? Philadelphia is so screwed up. I know what I would do if I was the owner. Fine. I'm keeping you on contract. And you can sit at home and I'll fine you. And I'll continue to fine you and continue to. And this is why guaranteed contracts are a bad thing, because you give onus to the players.
Yeah.
And I'm so tired of hearing, well, players make the game. Really? Really? That's the problem with the NBA product. It's players, not teams. Hence why the NFL is king.
Mm-hmm.
It's about players and the shield, because they run it like a business. The NBA is ran like the inmates run the asylum. So I'm sorry, but I just to bring this full circle, do you think Jeff Bezos is giving a guy that unloads trucks on the dock at Amazon a guaranteed contract to tell him how to run his business?
No, probably not.
No. So,
any
NBA owner that's smart, you build through the draft and you draft high character guys, because if not, there's nothing out there on the free agent market. Nothing. It's trash. It's Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Kyrie, the same recycled, low life, selfish, can't win, can't produce in big games, garbage. That's what they are. But let's put them all in the Hall of Fame.
It is like that with the NBA. Like, you can still pick up good free agents in like the NFL, and I feel like but the NBA is just kind of like the island of misfit toys that nobody wants anymore and can't perform. So it's interesting with the NBA in that way. Just kind of like everybody's leftovers.
And again, outside of LeBron and the Lakers, let's look at the other teams. Miami, mostly built through the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Boston, all built through the draft. The Denver Nuggets, all built through the draft.
Yep.
the Sacramento Kings, the Golden State Warriors, all built through the. Do you see a theme here? I don't
Yep.
need your overrated max contract where you're more mouth than game.
Yep. Absolutely.
Because guess what? I can find a kid at the park at Rutgers that can drop 40. Just saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Agreed. All right, let's get you off the NBA before you bust a blood vessel. Let's do a little college football action. Well, actually, this topic may make you finally bust it. The ACC has opposed expansion as Stanford and Cal both fall one vote short, even after Notre Dame comes out in support of adding. Like Notre Dame trying to be the voice of reason to save the conference it's not even really in. It's still an independent, and the ACC still finds a way to screw this up. It just seems to me like the ACC just want to watch it burn.
Listen, I want to know when the debate is for the running of the ACC commission.
Oh, he's back in. He's
back in. We got him. All right.
And I don't want to use Trump because that's a little bit of a sore subject for about half the country right now.
I think it's a little less than half at this point.
But me and the commissioner of the ACC would be like putting Ron DeSantis, on the podium, and this lowlife is carrying 2% of the vote with no brain, like Chris Christie with cheeseburger hanging off his mouth, and his gut 8 miles past his ding-a-ling, and he can't even find it.
Yeah.
This guy, I need a picture of this Bowinkle. He's got to be the stupidest. You know what? I'm trying not to cuss. Remember, I've changed my life.
Yep.
This freaking guy, they need to dig up Jimmy Hoffa and replace his body where Jimmy Hoffa's is buried. You didn't bring West Virginia to the ACC when you had the opportunity. Yeah. You let small schools that you could have developed that had good programs, and not just football, but other sports as well. James Madison, Coastal Carolina, Appalachian State. How about you don't let Maryland go, right?
Yep.
How about you try to pull, UConn down in for basketball purposes, right? Because the ACC's always been more basketball.
Yeah, but I mean, but recent years, though, their football has gotten a lot better. I mean, ACC football has taken a huge step forward.
In this now, and again, the president of Notre Dame, I don't know if you saw this, did come out he said he could see a situation where Notre Dame left its deal and joined the conference.
Maybe.
So, but with this action, great job, ACC commissioner. Yes, blew another one. The Notre Dame's never coming.
No.
And listen, the only reason Florida State and Clemson are still there is because the ACC was the first one to cut their TV deal, and they got everybody balled into this for like 6 or 7 more years.
But their deal is quickly becoming not a great deal in the landscape.
Dwarfed.
It's awful.
And it'll never get to the level of the others because, listen, after Florida State and Clemson football and after UNC and Duke basketball, you got nothing. You're a crap conference.
Yeah, and this was an opportunity for them too. You look at Stanford, you look at Cal. You bring both of those in, you add Notre Dame, you just saved your conference. You saved the conference with those 3 additions.
Listen,
like a true addition of Notre Dame to the ACC.
Stanford, I don't know if people know this, won more national titles than any college. They won the cup for that. Like volleyball, track, swimming, softball, baseball. Like, I get it. Football is king, and that's why people aren't recruiting them, because football brings the money. But there's so many other avenues, and just the learning institution or educational like Cal and Stanford. I don't think they fit in the ACC. I wouldn't go after them if I was the ACC. But when Notre Dame is pushing for it, because listen, if Notre Dame loses that schedule with the ACC, listen, Florida State might stick it out for a couple more years, but Florida State in the next 5 years is not going to be in the ACC. They're just not.
Do we even think in the next 4 or 5 years there will be an ACC if they continue?
I mean, I don't
to do what they're doing now.
Here's the problem. Where are you going to go? You were late to the party.
Yep.
right?
And we talked about
knew
that.
Prom was 3 months away.
Mm-hmm.
So you waited till the night before and you got the fat girl with BO and one eye because you waited too late. That's what you got. So now, while everybody's making out, you're going to be licking Fumunda cheese out from under her you-know-whaties. That's the only action you're getting. So you screwed up. I don't want to hear about your problem. You knew prom was 3 months away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow.
See how I brought all that back together?
Yeah. No. Yep. We were tracking with you.
Yeah, we were trying.
Terrible visuals.
Fumunda cheese smells horrible if y'all have never had that experience.
We're going to let that go. All right, we'll jump to, obviously, there's some more here with the ACC. So Big Ten, SEC are passing on ACC teams. No desire in bringing any of those in. And you did talk a little bit.
No desire because they would have to help pay the $32 million out fee, and why would they do that?
Yeah, agreed.
Why pay? Make Florida State pay if they really want out, because the SEC and the Big Ten are really set.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's nobody left out there to go get.
The SEC, Big Ten, and Big 12 are all set at this point.
Yeah, the only schools to go get, I mean, let's just break it down. The only schools from a football perspective out there left to get is Notre Dame, Florida State, Clemson. Well, the Big Ten nor SEC, and I don't blame them, I'm not paying to get Florida State and Clemson out and then pay them their share. Screw it. Let them, if they want to come join us, yeah, we'll take you, but you got to pay your own way out. You made that deal. We were smarter than the ACC. We waited and let you all make your deal first. And then from a basketball perspective, you know, it doesn't make financial sense for Duke or North Carolina, right?
No.
So the only real school out there of substance is probably UConn basketball.
Yeah.
But
that's
not enough, even though the boys and girls programs are both phenomenal. That's not enough to go make somebody jump, right?
Yeah.
So nobody is going to add or do anything else except the Pac-12. They'll probably make a big splash with SMU or New Mexico State or Nevada, you know, something stupid. Though I did hear today the American and the Pac-12 are looking at joining forces since both of those conferences are dismantled. But listen, man, when the whole realignment happens, outside of the Big Ten, the Big 12, and the SEC, I don't see a path where there's more than one team outside of those three conferences that are in the college football playoff, the 12 team. I mean, and this playoff was supposed to help the Boise States of the world, or the BYU. Of course, BYU joined the Big 12 now, but it was supposed to help these mid-majors that had a squeaky clean record at least get into this and get a shot, right?
Yep.
Well, now, why do you need to give them a shot when 90% of the best teams, 95% of the best teams in college football are all in three conferences? Just each of you get 4 shots.
Yeah. And we can talk about that a little bit. So obviously with the expansion, realignment, the college football playoff expansion, realignment, obviously with the Big 12 and these additions, they're kind of taking a look at what that's really going to look like. So going and looking at this, under one proposal, the 5 highest ranked conference champions would automatically qualify for the playoff.
What 5 conferences?
So I think the idea was to have SEC, Big 10, Big 12, ACC, and Pac-12.
Pac-12 cannot get a bid.
I know, but they're going to have to look at that. Another idea was to remove automatic qualifiers altogether and just place the 12 highest ranked teams into the college football playoff. Right now, though, it seems like that 5 top and 7 remaining would be the way they would want it to look. I don't know if that's going to continue that way because the Pac-12 is no more.
No, you can't. I mean, seriously, Cal wins the conference at 7 or at 2-7, and you're going to put them in?
Yeah. So obviously, this whole thing has bigger implications, and we've talked about it. We're excited about the expansion to 12. But now with all this uncertainty, what is that going to look like? How many teams are going to get in from each conference? What is that? How's that really going to play out? So we're going to get the expansion next year to 12, but it seems like there's going to be a lot of work to do now that the Pac-12 is basically
on
life support.
In my way of looking at it, which I tend to be very right a lot of the time, is you have the Big 10, the Big 12, and the SEC, right?
Yeah.
You have 12 spots. And figure you got the ACC, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The Pac-12 you can't even consider. ACC, you get one automatic bid.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever wins the conference. The other three conferences, you all get 3 bids. That takes up 10 of your 12 spots. Now the next 2 are the 2 highest rated teams. Because here's the problem if you just take the top 12.
Yeah.
The problem is going to lie. You're not going to get away from Georgia playing Tennessee Martin and Savannah State and Bowling Green Middle Tech of Southern. Not even Bowling Green. Bowling Green Middle Tech of Southern Vocational College.
Hey.
Right?
They can play.
I want it like the NFL. Again, when a business works, run it like that business.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hard to do. Okay? Nobody cares if somebody's undefeated in the NFL. We just want the best teams and we want parity.
It's true.
So do the same thing in college football. Alabama and Georgia should play each other every year. Same thing with Tennessee. Same thing with LSU. There is no way you should get out of the SEC undefeated.
No,
Heck,
absolutely not.
You probably won't even get out of there with one loss. Right? But that shouldn't disqualify you because you had a harder conference and yet Ohio State got to go beat up on Iowa and Minnesota. So Ohio State, yeah, they might have one loss and Alabama's got 2. But again, the eye test has got to mean something, people.
Agreed. I agree with that.
Listen, if I was an AD of Michigan or Ohio State or Alabama, I would play out here. Oh, well, they do it to keep these little schools going. BS.
Well, those little schools make a lot of money, though.
BS. The big schools are using that to cupcake their schedule.
True.
Because they're not willing to take a loss because they know they're going to get penalized. Get the records out of the window. Let the big boys play the big boys. Okay, so Michigan and Ohio State, they only play 2 hard games a year. One against each other in Penn State. That's it. Minnesota's not challenging them.
Yep.
Rutgers for darn sure isn't. Indiana, Maryland, screw that crap. I want them playing USC. I want them playing Oregon. I want them going down playing Texas. I want to see the big boys play the big boys.
Yep.
So then when we get to the 12, we know there's no doubt.
Yeah.
About we got the best 12, not we got this false person in and, blah, 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 blah. No.
I think the 12 is going to solve a lot of that. I think, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. I don't think it's an issue having 1 or 2 of those games because they do mean a lot for those smaller schools. That's how they keep their programs going. So I don't have a problem with 1 or 2 of those.
If you care about the small schools, if you truly care,
Yep.
Great. Give them revenue sharing.
No, I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Oh, so we don't care.
No, I didn't say I didn't care. I'm just saying they're not going to do that.
Well, why would they not? They care about, Alabama wants to make sure Savannah State stays in college football, right?
I can't speak.
Oh, right. It's like everything else in the world. Money can overthrow and paint a picture that's not true. Nobody gives a rip about Tennessee Martin having a football team.
Nope.
If you did, there would be revenue splits.
No, and I get what you're saying, but I don't want to see those opportunities go away from smaller schools.
Well, then the NCAA hire somebody to run your business because college is a business.
I agree with that.
Sorry.
Yeah, I just don't want to see those smaller schools
because
go away.
Here's the thing. Georgia's probably going to get to the college football playoff this year, and I'm telling you right now, they're not a top 5 team.
Yeah. Can't argue with that.
And anybody that says they are, Paul Feinbaum, you just hate Alabama and you don't have a clue. I mean, I just saw the AP rankings, and they had like Tennessee 12th.
Yeah, I want to look at the AP rankings.
Tennessee's 12th, really? USC is 6. What USC are you watching?
Yeah, we're
not
gonna
the same USC I'm watching.
Jesus, here we go. Yeah, we're gonna I'm gonna pull that up really quick. Take a breather. Don't need you.
I mean, that's like the non-athletic people saying Trevor Lawrence should be ranked 15th. Blasphemy. How dare you talk about the Prince?
No, 15 sounds about right.
Well, I do wonder what it would be like if those smaller schools went away. You know, there's only so many roster spots.
That's what I'm saying.
Power
like,
Five.
I don't want to see those opportunities go away from those kids. I don't.
Just those kids be able to, like, if they are a killer and they're good, and maybe they didn't have a chance to go to get recruited by a big school, they can prove themselves. And
it's not about the kids or the schools.
I'm not
if
saying
it was.
I'm saying what I care about as a college football fan.
If it was NIL and never came about because we at least give the kids money to go get a freaking pizza.
No, I'm just saying
stop. I don't buy into the crazy liberalism that we live in this country to where, no, it's a facade. If you cared about the damn kids that much, you'd take care of them.
I'm saying what I care about as a fan of college football, not with the NCAA. You're missing the point.
And that's what I'm saying. You're saying they need to play these big schools because it keeps their program alive. That's like saying I need to stay on welfare and not get a job because they're going to give me free money. It's the same thing.
It's not the same thing, though.
No, clearly it is.
In a situation like
it's
UT Martin, right?
Yeah.
Like UT Knoxville has a very vested interest in making sure UT Martin has a football program because they're both state schools.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the answer is for private universities, but I'm just saying from a state school standpoint, the university should make, the state is trying to make sure that there's parity across all the state schools.
So let me ask you this question. Maybe I'll just dumb it down into dumb terms.
Okay.
Georgia is undefeated.
Uh-huh.
Alabama has 1 loss. Georgia gets to be in the college football playoff because they got to play Tennessee Martin. Meanwhile, week 1, week 2, whatever it is, Alabama had to play Texas with a kid that could win the Heisman.
Yeah, no.
So Alabama's Alabama's going to get penalized because they played somebody outside of the conference that was worth a darn, which Georgia is not. And then inside the conference, Georgia just so happens to miraculously not have to play LSU, the best team in the SEC this year, I mind you. Yep. The best team in the SEC.
Okay.
And Alabama does. So we're not on a level playing field.
No, and I think you're missing the point. We said we could understand that each one of those teams got 1 or 2 of those games a year to help out smaller
colleges.
You
need 1. You don't need 2.
Georgia has 6 of them this year. Obviously a problem. That's not what we're talking about. You're missing the point.
No, I get what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if the NCAA really cared about the small schools, I just want you to throw out a number.
There's more to life than football. As much as we probably
12-team playoff with these massive TV deals, how much do you think this thing's going to make?
A lot of money, for sure. A lot of money.
Is it safe to say it might make more than the NFL playoffs and Super Bowl?
Yes, probably. Probably close.
So you can't give. I mean, because they're going to make billions off the college football playoff.
I don't think a 12-team playoff. We're having an issue with it right now because there's 4 teams. Once it goes to 12, you're not going to have an issue anymore. What
I'm saying is, if you cared about the small schools, why, if Tennessee Martin helped Georgia by being a tune-up, then why isn't the NCAA helping them? Because you're going to make probably $2-3 billion a year off the college football playoff. Where's that money going?
That's a question for the NCAA. Maybe you should run for commissioner of the
NCAA. The money's going to go back to Ohio State and Michigan, or it's going to go to the power conferences, the ones that already have all the money. So do you see what I'm saying? We don't care about the small schools. So all I'm saying is, don't tell me a lie that I know isn't true.
No, I'm just saying as a fan, I care about the smaller schools.
I do too, and I care about the kids.
That's
and I
the
want
point
every
I was
kid
trying to
to
get
play
across.
college athletics.
Yeah.
We're on the same page.
Gotcha.
What I'm saying is do not praise Georgia and Alabama and Ohio State.
Oh, I'm not
that
praising
they're doing
them.
a great service.
No,
that they're keeping these schools around. No, they're putting. They're paying. This is what they're doing. They're paying. It's
for
like
wins.
somebody signing up with us.
Wins.
I'm going to invest $1,000 for football because they're going to make me $50K. Well, who wouldn't do that? That's a no-brainer, folks.
No, I'm not under any illusion that those schools are doing that for the right reasons. What I'm saying, though, is there is a benefit for the smaller schools to keep their programs alive. And that's what we want as college football fans, at least what I want. What the NCAA wants, who the hell knows?
And maybe not all of us want college football to just be, the NFL,
I don't.
A minor league version of the NFL, which seems like that's. Well, I just don't think it would be very good for college athletics in general to do that.
College athletics is all screwed up right now. Where y'all been?
Yeah, I don't want. Just the NFL. I think keeping them separate products is just fine.
Yeah, it's screwed up. But to say I only want the best teams that play the other best teams and parity and all this stuff is just okay, then it's just basically the NFL at that point. So that's just what you just admit what you want. That's fine if that's what you want, but just say what it is.
Listen, I'm pretty sure Neyland Stadium is going to be a much better atmosphere than any NFL stadium.
Oh yeah,
outside of the playoffs.
Yeah,
because just kind of like when me and Chop Notre Dame playing Ball State, there was more excitement there than any game I've ever been to. Now
that was more exciting. That was more exciting than the game at Lambeau.
Probably not for you, Chop, because you've been to a Chiefs AFC championship game. That's a lot different. But I'm just talking about in the magnitude of a college football stadium and the atmosphere.
The environment's completely different.
Opposed to an NFL, it's totally different beast. That's all I'm saying. So parity, you're oh, it's just going to be the NFL. No, it's going to be those great venues with the best teams.
Yeah.
Because look, and I don't know how they're going to do it. I haven't researched it. I really don't care. I'm a handicapper. I'll cross this bridge when I come to it. But at least for your, I know they like these bowl games. Your first round should at least be home field advantage. Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Now you're
could
talking.
Be interesting.
That make a huge difference. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go on the road to Columbus. Go to the big house. Because those stadiums are much better than these. I know they want to play in these nice new ones. No. Let's play in the Lions Den. Let's play in Tuscaloosa. Let's play in Neyland. Let's play in South Bend. Let's play in Beaver Stadium up in Penn State.
Yep.
You want to get at? Now, you're telling me playoff games in those stadiums? You don't want that because it looks too NFL-ish? I think y'all might want to take another sip of whiskey, boys, and rethink.
No, that I agree with. I think having those in those venues, I like that idea a lot better.
Take another little sip of screw.
That I do. All right, so you mentioned the top 25, so let's just go ahead and go through it. Georgia, ranked number 1.
Well, look, when you don't play anybody and you're the 2-time defending champs, pretty hard to move you off there.
Yep. Michigan, number 2. Ohio State, number 3.
So stop right there.
Yeah, I figured.
I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Ohio State.
Here we go.
This has to be, they are the LA Lakers, Dallas Cowboys of college football. Folks, their coach is on the hot seat because he can't beat Michigan.
Yep.
Who's playing quarterback?
I have no idea.
Right? Since Urban Meyer left, whether you want to admit or not, I know everybody likes to take shots at Urban. If you look at his college
does it to himself.
Well, I'm sorry. You look at the man's college resume. He's one of the 5 greatest college coaches of all time.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Okay.
Can't argue that.
Okay. The guy tried to coach a college style in the NFL, and that's hard to do when guys are making millions of dollars.
Absolutely.
When you got a kid that you can run over top of, a little different. Okay.
Yep.
Ohio State is not that good. They play in the weakest conference of the powers. Because I don't even consider there to be 3 conferences. The ACC is blah. It's the Big 12, the Big 10, the SEC. I want you to look at them top to bottom. The Big 10 might have 2 better teams in Michigan and Ohio State, but top to bottom, out of the 3, they're the weakest conference. Don't anybody even try to argue
I would agree with that 100%.
Don't even try to argue with me.
I won't.
Right? Now, look, when Texas and Oklahoma move, okay, maybe they're neck and neck with the Big 12 because they do get USC, they do get Oregon. But right now, as we said here today, to put Ohio State 3rd, you're doing it for the name. And again, they're just another school that plays a bunch of nobodies.
Yep.
And then they get in the college football playoff, and I hear about how great they're going to be, and they get dump trucked.
Yeah. No, can't argue with you. All right, we're going to jump to the next one here. Alabama's number 4. LSU's number 5. USC's number 6. How do we feel about those 3? We're going to do this in chunks.
LSU and USC should be in the top 4, but it doesn't matter. They'll be there when it's all said and done.
Yep. All right. Number 7 would be your Penn State Nittany Lions.
Listen, I love Penn State, but last time I checked, James Franklin's still the head coach, which means they'll screw it up.
Yeah, probably. And then you get Florida State 8, Clemson 9, and Washington rounds out the top 10.
Washington's sneaky with
They
Michael
are
Penix.
sneaky good.
Michael
Yep,
Penix is a Heisman. Clemson, I like that they got the offensive coordinator for TCU, but that kid at quarterback, I'm not sold.
Yep.
Florida State, they're going to be really good.
Really good.
But who's 11th?
So number 11 is Texas.
12?
Tennessee is all the way down in 12th, which I do not understand for the life of me. Don't get it. I boggled my mind.
We'll see.
And then Notre Dame is 13th with Sam Hartman.
I think that's too low as well.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think Notre Dame's better than Penn State.
Yes. With I think Notre Dame adding Sam Hartman is going to be a very big ad for them.
And Clemson, here's another one with Clemson. You're ranked 9th based off of what? That you're in a weak conference? Because that's got to be the only reason.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, they got a really good defense, but I mean, on the offensive side of the ball, it's just hard to imagine that in 1 year it's going to get all flipped and turned around. I got a hard time buying that.
No, I get you. Number 14 is Utah.
That's an interesting team with Cam Rising back.
Yep. 15 is Oregon.
I'm not a Bo Nix guy.
K-State is 16.
That's probably about right. They overachieved last year, lost a lot. That's probably about right.
TCU is 17th.
Way too high.
Yep. Oregon State 18th.
No way. DJ Oyalaga is the quarterback. I saw that guy play. He stinks.
Yeah. Wisconsin 19th. Now, Wisconsin's going to be interesting.
Wisconsin's a top 12 team.
Because if they play offense how they did at the end of last season, this season, they could be sneaky good.
Mm-hmm.
Sneaky good.
I think we're going to hear some rumbles out of Wisconsin.
Yep, I would agree with that. Oklahoma is 20th.
Probably about right. They're on the downside right now.
And then the last 4, you get North Carolina 21st, Ole Miss 22nd, Texas A&M 23rd, and Tulane 24th.
The Green Wave? I like the Green Wave to get in the top 20.
Yeah. I think they're going to be good. Had a great season last year. Impressive from them. And I think
but listen, LSU and USC not in the top 4 is an albatross.
Yeah.
And Tennessee 12th? I mean, listen,
Tennessee
folks,
and Tennessee.
I mean,
how they're not in the top.
I'm a big fan of Hooker the Cooker, but I mean, Joe Milton ain't far behind him.
Yep.
Maybe they're the same guy. Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I think Tennessee's going to be really good.
Just think about this. Again, this just goes back to what we were talking about. You're going to put Clemson 9th and Tennessee 12th, and Tennessee beat the brakes off of them. The game was never close.
No.
I think Tennessee could win the national championship. I really do. I think they could win the title. And so to have them in 12th to start the season is a little mind-boggling.
But here's the problem for Tennessee. It's the same problem for LSU. Tennessee has to play Alabama and LSU and Georgia. Georgia's just got to play Tennessee, and that's it.
Yep. But they do have to go to Neyland.
LSU, Tennessee, and Alabama, those three are going through a gauntlet.
Right.
That's that goes back to my issue. I'm telling you right now, LSU, Tennessee, USC, and Michigan are the best 4 teams in college football.
You like LSU
They're the best
better
4.
than Tennessee?
Tennessee, LSU, Michigan, and Tennessee.
Tennessee was in there twice.
Tennessee, LSU, USC, and Michigan
there we go.
are the 4 best teams in college football, and it ain't close.
I agree with that.
5th is Alabama.
Nope.
Sorry. Ohio State and Georgia, it's just a name and what's happened the past couple of years. But they're going to get in this stupid thing because A, it's only 4 teams, and B, you ain't playing nobody.
Yeah, you're not wrong. All right. We're going to jump to the next one here. Harbaugh, the talk was he was going to be suspended for 4 games, and it looks like the case is completely falling apart, so he will not be suspended at all now. Obviously, good for him, good for Michigan.
It's like a Trump indictment. Now you see it, now you don't.
Yeah, it's there, and now it's gone.
Russia, no, I meant Georgia.
Yeah, don't get me started on that bullshit. All right, the next one here, Arch Manning could unseat Quentin Ewers.
I don't see that. I think all of the stuff I'm hearing, Ewers is a Heisman. I mean, he's got the 5th best Heisman odds. How in the world is Arch Manning going to unseat him?
I don't think he is. I think Manning's coming along, which is good to see. I think it's Ewers' job, and I think it should be. I mean, Ewers has proved he can win. He can win games.
Now, look,
very good quarterback.
Yeah, if they get in some blowouts, you should definitely get Arch game reps, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
But listen, Ewers is the guy. Unless he gets hurt, he's the guy. I can't see that.
Yep, I agree with that. All right, we are going to jump to a little Pac-12 preview. Take a look at this conference while it's still around. Still got USC.
It's actually going to be a really good
year
for the Pac-12.
Really good.
It's kind of sad.
USC, Utah, Washington, Oregon State, UCLA. I mean, all these teams are going to be really, really good. I think USC is definitely the class of this conference. We talked about it on here multiple times. But man, the Pac-12 is going to be a really fun conference to watch, which is sad because this is it. This is like the last hurrah.
Going out in style, I guess.
Yeah, I guess go out in style.
It's a 2-team race, boys. USC and Washington.
Yeah. I tend to agree.
All right, so we're going to go through this kind of like we did with what did we do last? ACC. We'll look at returning starters. We'll look at some returning offensive and defensive production. So we'll just kind of start here. Arizona is going to return 11 total starters, 8 offense, 3 defense. Arizona State also returning 11 starters, so 5 on offense, 6 on defense. California, 8 on offense, 10 on defense for a total 18. Colorado, not returning very much, but yeah, it's probably a good thing. 9 total, 4 on offense, 5 on defense. Oregon is returning 12 starters, 5 offensively, 7 defensively. Oregon State returning a good chunk there, 13, 8 offense, 5 defense. Stanford not returning very much, only 6 total starters, 2 on the offensive side of the ball, 4 on defense. UCLA returns 11, 3 on offense, 8 on defense. USC returning obviously a very nice core, 14 total, 6 on offense and 8 on defense, which is identical to Utah.
More importantly for USC, you're also adding Cliff Kingsbury to the mix.
Yeah. And Kingsbury,
as if Lincoln Riley needed any more help.
Yeah, I think Kingsbury's going to have a whole lot of fun out there in Southern California. Utah, like I said, also returning 14, so 6 on offense, 8 on defense, identical to USC. Washington also returning 14 starters, 7 offensively, 7 defensively. and then Washington State returning 11, 6, and 5. Looking at offensive and defensive production here, USC, obviously the highest here, 75% on offense, 75% of their defensive production comes back. Utah, interesting, 83% offensive production is going to return this year. A little less on defense, though, 69%. Looking at Washington returning a chunk, 74% on offense, 73% on defense. So great numbers for those. Oregon, pretty good, 65 and 65 on offense and defense. And those are really your top returners. UCLA returning 75% of their defensive production, which is good, but they lost quite a bit on offense, a little over 50% of their offensive production returns. I would agree with you, John. I think USC, Washington are the two teams here to look at. They're the two teams to watch. But there's a lot of talent and a lot of good teams in this Pac-12. This is going to be probably one of the funnest conferences to watch this year, which is, just sad.
Yeah, right now to win the conference, USC 2-1, Washington plus 325, Oregon plus 340, Utah plus 550, UCLA plus 1,000, Oregon State, the Beavers with DJ Olegele plus 1,200,
Jesus.
Washington State plus 6,000, California plus 8,500, which is also their IQ scores. Colorado plus 15,000. Listen, everybody's really down. And Stanford, they actually beat California. They're plus 25,000, so their SAT score is much higher than Cal's.
Yep. I want to bet the over for Colorado. It's sitting at 3.5 games. I feel like that's good value to bet the over on the win total there.
Well, let's see. So regular season, Arizona over under 4.5, juiced minus 175 to the over. Colorado over under 3.5, over 3.5 plus 125.
Yeah, I got to take that all day. Absolutely.
4 wins plus 125. Why everybody's out on Colorado is beyond me.
Because Coach Prime hurt their feelings.
Oh. Feelings.
So sad.
Oregon over under 9.5. Washington over under 9.5. Utah over under 8.5. USC over under 9.5. Stanford over under 2.5. The under 2.5 plus 130.
Over under 2.5 for Stanford.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Not very good.
They got to get 3 wins, right?
Oregon State over 8.5 with DJ Gagale plus 125.
Butchering that poor kid's name. My God.
I just call him the guy that got the Dr. Pepper commercial without throwing for a touchdown.
Yeah. All right. Since we talked about USC and Washington being the class of this conference, let's go through their schedules real quick and see what they got. So USC is going to open it up at home against San Jose State.
They'll score 60.
They're then going to get Nevada at home.
They'll score 80.
And then they're going to get Stanford at home. Talk about
they're going to score 180.
And then they go on the road to play Arizona State.
Oh, listen, Arizona State's a great party school, but they ain't got no football. Not with Herm Edwards.
USC then goes to Colorado in the altitude to play the Buffaloes.
It's a sneaky game.
It is a sneaky game.
Listen, I'm telling you what, man. I watch a lot of videos. Prime gets me motivated to cut the grass.
Yeah.
So, like, if I was a kid, like, going out, like, I would want to run through a wall listening to some of his speeches.
Yeah, that fight video the other day. Did you see that?
What's that?
When they got into a fight at practice and like he had players walking off, he's like, "Nah, when one of us is fighting, we're all fighting. I don't want to see you walking off the field." So yeah, he's I think Colorado's gonna be like, they're not gonna
listen. He just looks like, with that white cowboy hat he wears, I mean, he just looks like he's auditioning for the lead role in Yellowstone from Kevin Costner.
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
I'm just all about it.
Yeah, I think he's loving his time in Colorado, and I think they're gonna surprise a lot of people with their play. I'm excited to watch Colorado this year for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
Then USC is gonna get Arizona at home.
Nah, that's easy.
And here's where it gets tricky. They're going to go on the road to play Notre Dame in South Bend, night game on NBC. This one could be a little tough. These teams play each other really tough. And in South Bend, it's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough, but Notre Dame don't have the answer to slow down Caleb Williams. He'll get the win late. He'll have a Joe Montana type drive.
I think this will be a close game. I think this will be game of the week that week. I really do. I'm looking forward to this
10.
one.
It'll be within 10.
Yep. And then they get Utah at home, which also could turn out to be a tough game. Utah going to be good again this year. Then they go on the road to play Cal.
Listen.
You get quiet on me. I can't tell if you've disconnected or you're just not speaking.
It's Cal.
Yeah, I got you. Then they get Washington at home.
That's a tough game.
Then they go on the road to play Oregon, and we know how difficult it is to go into Oregon and play.
Eugene's a tough place to play, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Eugene's a tough place to play, and that's a gauntlet. What you just described, Charlie horse, God, in my leg.
You know, Bubba. Easy killer.
Was he describing a Charlie horse?
No, he pulled a hammy.
God.
I think he actually had one. Getting old sucks, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Man,
it hurts.
Not enough hydration out there on the softball field.
Yeah. Where's the pup? Is she not there comforting you?
No, she's laying across my shoe
as he drinks his Starry.
God, Jesus, that dude. He is itching for a Starry sponsor.
Anyway,
AJ, you gotta get on the phone with these people.
That's a gauntlet. Notre Dame, Utah, Washington, Oregon. That's a tough. God bless. That is a tough schedule.
Yeah. You get on the road to play Notre Dame. You do get Utah and Washington at home, but then on the road to play Oregon. Those 4 out of 5 games there. I mean, they get a little break with
That's
with
as
Cal.
tough as anything in college football.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. Really, really rough.
That's as tough as anything in college football, hands down.
I agree with you. All right, let's look at Washington's schedule then. They are going to kick it off with Boise State at home.
Boise State, they're not the same anymore.
Then they get Tulsa at home.
They still got a football program?
They do still have a football program. That's why I said them. And then they go on the road to play Michigan State.
You might have seen me in Tulsa. I just dropped a load of salsa.
Living on Tulsa time.
So
Great
good.
Song.
All right, on the road to play Michigan State. How do we feel? Fight through the pain.
Michigan State is, what's his name, still the coach?
Yes.
That's an easy win then.
Okay.
That guy couldn't coach his way out of a wet paper bag in the middle of a hurricane.
Then they get Cal at home.
On the road. Look, the only way Cal's winning a game is if one of those California fires breaks out and the other team can't land the plane for all the smoke. That's the only way Cal's
went dark. All right. Then they go on the road to play Arizona.
The the Wildcats there of Arizona, they came on strong. They're like, I like the head coach. Mm-hmm. I think he's the guy that turns Arizona on the road to Arizona is not going to be easy.
Mm-mm.
They're gonna get 1 or 2 people in a dogfight and end up upsetting at least one person this year.
Yeah, I could see that. And then they are going to get Oregon at home, so they don't have to make the trip up to Eugene. They get Oregon at home, which helps.
Well, listen, Oregon-Washington's always been a great rivalry, but as much as I'm saying I like Washington, I don't like Washington. I like Michael Penix.
Yeah.
So, if he doesn't play well, Washington's like
they typically
21st, 22nd. He plays lights out. They're a top 10 team.
And they always have a good defense, especially their secondary. I mean, they know how to churn out some defensive backs for sure.
They do find corners.
Yep. Yeah, they really do. All right, and then they get Arizona State at home, on the road to play Stanford, and then they're on the road to play USC. So get 2 easier games there, and then that USC game's going to be tough.
Yeah, I mean, Washington, I don't see him making the college football playoff. I could see, however, making the Pac-12 championship game. Them and USC would be a really good Pac-12 championship game.
It really would be. And this was where their schedule gets a little difficult. So obviously they go on the road to play USC. They get Utah at home. Then they go on the road to play Oregon State. So 3 tough games there.
Oregon State is a tough place to play. But it should be a whole lot easier with DJ Fansville.
Yeah, we got it. You have no idea how to pronounce his name. We understand. Thank you.
Yeah. Gotcha. Check.
All right. Perfect. And then they close it out with Washington State at home.
The Cougars.
Yep. All right. So who do you think ends up coming out of this then? USC or Washington?
USC.
All right.
USC.
Man, you didn't have to think about that.
The problem for USC is going to be with that schedule, it shouldn't, but 2 losses is going to put them outside of the college football playoff. That's the issue. So they got to figure out a way to just get through with 1 loss, and that's going to be tough.
Absolutely. All right, we are going to turn our attention to the NFL. Got a lot to get through. We had a lot of information this week, obviously coming out of preseason, so we're going to try to rapid fire some of these, try to keep John from going on his long rants. We'll see how successful we are. First one we're going to kick off with has been an interesting story over the last week. Obviously, I mean, anybody who's watched football has probably watched the Blind Side movie. So Michael Orr has come out against the Tui family, the family that took him in. And this one's kind of, in the beginning, there was some information, and as the days have gone on, this kind of sounds more like a Michael Orr shakedown for money. The farther we get into this thing, this has just been a weird one this week. Obviously, his book came out on Monday, which is the same day the lawsuits came out.
Which it was his second book.
His second book.
Which is odd that all this failed to make the first book, but nevertheless.
So it didn't fail to make the first book, actually. He did mention in this new suit that he was unaware of the conservatorship, that he thought he was adopted instead of having the conservatorship. But when you go back to the 2011 book, he actually talks about the conservatorship. So saying that he was only aware of it this year is not factual, at least to what I've heard and read. He does make some claims in there in the 2011 book about some of this stuff and about the Blind Side movie. I think the sticking point here is going to be money from the movie. There's been some talks about the family was given, how they split this. The book rights were sold, and then the company who bought the book rights sold the rights to make the movie. So the family is saying we really didn't get anything from it. We had, I think the movie companies gave like $200,000 to a charity of your choice. The Tui family put it towards their charity. Michael Orr declined the $200,000 that they were going to give him for charity. Now it sounds like he's wanting that money.
So neither he nor the Tuies made any money off this movie. I find that very hard to believe.
From what I've read, not anything substantial. I think the residuals, SJ, which is the son, said over the last 5 years, I think he's made $60,000 to $70,000. So not like life world changing money, small residual checks.
But I mean, the movie made millions.
The movie made $300 million, but the problem was the book rights were sold. The rights to the story, the company who wrote the book is the one who sold the movie rights. So really, they were probably the ones that primarily made the bulk of the money from this. So it sounds like.
But the Tuies were rich as snot anyway.
Yeah, so the Tui family owned a chain of restaurants and they were extremely wealthy back then. They're even more so now. I think 5 or 6 years ago, Sean Tui, which is the dad, he sold that restaurant. Yeah, he sold that restaurant business for somewhere in the tune of $230 million. They've had money, always had money. This wasn't really like a make or break. They've always been extremely wealthy. They made great investments, and so yeah, I don't think.
Yeah. I think it's. Didn't he just retire this last year?
He retired about 6 years ago.
Oh, really?
And so it's five or 6 years ago. It sounds like, though, going back to a couple years ago, I think some text messages have gone around the family group text where he texted the Tui family and said, "Hey, I want $15 million or I'll put out negative stories about you." So it seems like this has been brewing for a while. I don't know if outside of football, maybe investments weren't that good. Now he's looking for some cash. I do think it's interesting that this whole lawsuit thing came out on the day of the new book release, obviously probably trying to get some publicity and some traction. But it sounds like from what the family's lawyers have released, they have records of everything. The dad was like, if he wants out of the conservatorship, we'll terminate it right now. We haven't taken any funds from that. So this one's just kind of, unfortunately, I think it was a great story. The movie was great. I think what they did for the guy, bringing him into their home,
was so hot in that movie.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. She have the gun in her purse? That was an interesting scene. I think
Bert, run the daggone ball, Bert.
Yeah. This is going to be an interesting one. I think obviously the story of the movie was great. What they did for him, to get him to where he was. To get him to college football, to help him get to the NFL. I don't know if you can say he gets there without kind of their help and guidance throughout the process. So it's unfortunate that now it's taken this turn to where, it's getting ugly. It sounds like the family, from their perspective, they still look at him as a son and a brother, and are kind of devastated by how the turn this has taken. So it's just kind of ugly to see. And unfortunately, I think it's going to get a lot uglier before it's over with, which is unfortunate. So,
well, I saw his interview the other day when he was talking about the book. I was actually in Sports Clips getting my haircut.
Mm-hmm.
And, the stylist that cuts my hair, Sarah, she was like, man, he sounds really educated. Like in the movie, they made him out to be this dummy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, he is a very educated guy. Like he's, and he was talking about like how he had to survive and how he knew at a young age, like he didn't want to be, on crack or on drugs.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he was a bright individual. 100%.
I don't think he was ever happy with how the movie portrayed him. And unfortunately, Hollywood takes their creative.
Yeah. And go ahead, finish that point.
No, I think Hollywood just kind of takes their creative. They kind of make the story what they want it and stray from the truth or the facts and some of this stuff, which is unfortunate. I don't think he was ever happy with the way he was portrayed in the movie. And I think with that, it's kind of come part of this where he was like, I don't want anything to do with the movie. Like, I think they all got a little bit of money for selling the book rights. And then when it came to the movie, he wasn't happy with the portrayal. And so he's like, I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want to do media for it. I don't want anything to do with that. So now coming back, it seems like he wants compensation for it.
I got none against Michael Orr, right? And I don't know when the movie, I don't know when the movie was made compared to when he was in the league or whatever, right? Blah, blah, blah. But let's just call the facts here. Because I like to be the honesty man of America, right?
Yeah,
somebody that the people can trust to always tell the truth. And the reality of it is, nobody in hell knows who Michael Orr if it isn't for the Blindside movie.
Agreed.
I'm just being honest. You're another offensive lineman, dude. Yeah. Doesn't mean you're not educated. Doesn't mean you're not a smart individual. But without that movie, there's no difference than you and Joe Jacoby of the Redskins back in the day. I'm just being honest.
Right.
So, you know how I collect the Hallmark football ornaments on my tree, right? They did Michael Orr with the Ravens.
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah. Is Hallmark, they only make 3 or 4 ornaments a year. Are they picking Michael Orr if it's not for the Blind Side?
No. And I think... So obviously, he's done 2 books. He's got 2 book deals.
He's done 2 books. He's a very smart individual. He's not an idiot. So if you're that butthurt about how the movie portrayed you, who cares? Because now everybody looks at you as an American icon.
But now I think when this is all said and done, he's going to have tarnished that to where...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, which is going to be the opposite effect, I think, of what he's looking for. I don't know who's giving him the advice. Yeah, I don't know who's giving him the advice. None of this makes
any sense.
Yeah,
I'm not taking sides. I'm just speaking reality. The family was absolutely rich, filthy rich, when they met you. No reason to take you in. Kudos to Michael Orr. He's the one survived. Not a lot of people.
Absolutely.
There's less than 1% of the world that is in his situation and overcomes it like he did.
Absolutely.
But dude, if you're butthurt about how a movie portrayed you, it's a movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Which afforded,
Like, listen,
I think, some opportunity.
There was a porn series that they made after me, and I was extremely hurt about the size they used. Felt very offended. But you know what? I got some royalties, John Holmes, John Cole, I can see how they get it mixed up.
Yeah.
We move on.
It's tough when they use the guy from The Hangover,
Man.
the Asian guy, to portray you.
That guy.
Yeah, I could see how you'd be hurt from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, my eyes are still squinted.
Dude, it's so bad. All right, we're going to jump off that one. This one, it's just be interesting to see how this plays out. Obviously, we're not taking sides on here. We're just kind of telling you what information's
I think Michael Orr
released.
was a great player.
Fantastic.
I heard his interview. He was fantastic. But, I don't know, it just, the whole thing baffles me.
Yep,
especially if they got those text messages. Do we just forget?
Yeah, and one last thing I'll say on, I think he's tried to bring some lawsuits in the past, and lawyers have never wanted to touch it because there wasn't really a case. So I don't know what lawyer he got to kind of push it forward this time, but it'll just be interesting to see how
I heard
plays out.
Rudy Giuliani's pretty broke these days, so maybe he took it for a little.
Hey, old Rudy, he needs something to
Rudy
pass the
needs a
time.
little value menu money.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to jump to the next one here. Kyle Shanahan obviously saying Brock Purdy is clearly the starter. Lance and Darnold are competing for the number 2 spot. I can't say that I'm surprised. This is kind of how I expected this to play out.
The bigger story about that is Kyle Shanahan has been shown riding a scooter with loud horns on it, going by John Lynch's office at least 3 times on the scooter, honking, saying, "Hey, I was right. Honk, honk. Hey, I was right. Honk, honk. Hey, I was right." At least 3 times a day, proving his point that they should have drafted Mac Jones and not Trey Lance.
Yep.
Because that's what this is really about. This is about, it's kind of like I hear all these people talking about Anthony Richardson. Listen, if you've seen it once, you've seen it a million times. I get it. Big frame, just a freak. Just a freak. He's a freak. You can't throw a 5-yard screen pass. Shut the hell up.
Yeah.
I'm glad, again, I remember the Heath Schuler days. He can throw it 85 yards from his knees. The Redskins found the one. Well, guess what? He was on his back his whole career and couldn't throw it 2 yards. Yeah. So, Will Levis throwing balls out of the stadium. Well, great. He's not even going to be able to start for the Tennessee Titans.
Ouch. That hurts.
Do
you think John Lynch is in jeopardy?
Will Levis is going to get sacked more than his girlfriend. That's how wild that is.
Shanahan's going anywhere.
Huh?
Do you think John Lynch is ever in jeopardy of losing that job?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're both on the chopping block.
See, I don't think Shanahan is, though. Really?
Listen, you already got the Joey Bosa thing. San Francisco is running into what Kansas City's running into. What Buffalo's already ran into. When you miss the window, again, the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah. Remember how dominant they were for those couple of years, and they had 2 Super Bowl appearances? And if, everybody blames Pete Carroll, which, you could have ran to Marshawn Lynch, but on the other hand, Russell Wilson, throw a 2-yard slant correctly. Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
They dogged Pete
Carroll.
Carroll.
It to a guy that was on the PUP list practice squad, for God's sakes.
They give Pete Carroll a lot of shit for that play call. And yes, he probably should have handed it to Lynch, but the play call wasn't bad. The execution was what was bad. The throw was awful. It wasn't the play. If you run and execute a proper slant, it's a touchdown. They win the Super Bowl.
If Kurt Warner doesn't throw that same pick for the Cardinals, they beat Pittsburgh that year in the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
So listen, it just happens, right? So the reality of it is, the window is small. How long do we think this San Francisco window is going to be open? Christian McCaffrey's been around for a while, been hurt. Deebo Samuel, been around a while, been hurt. George Kittle, been around a while, been hurt. Trent Williams, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he's been in the league like 16 years. Like Bosa, in and out of the lineup. Guys on that defense, they've been hurt. Like 2 years ago, San Francisco was just decimated by injuries.
Yep.
Right? So, like, the window is only open so long. And then if you're the Cowboys, it's never open. So, you know.
That thing is nailed shut.
Yeah. That thing looks like the Bronx. There is bars on every window.
There's bars and then one of those metal shades that you see in like downtown New York. That's over. Yeah, you're never getting out of that thing.
Yeah. But San Francisco, look, at some point in time, somebody's going to have to pay the price.
And
it's not that you swung and missed on Trey Lance. It's that you swung and missed giving up a king's ransom. Mm-hmm. And you took a guy, like there was a stat this morning that ESPN had on Get Up when I was on the treadmill. Since in the last 4 years, he's only had like 422 pass attempts. And like, it was something crazy, like 23 quarterbacks had more than that just last year. Mm-hmm. I mean, again, I can really appreciate everybody saying that guy's ceiling is like, ooh. I don't want ceiling. I want sure thing at quarterback.
Yep.
I don't care what your potential is. I want a guy to win games, not a guy that ifs don't work in the NFL at quarterback. If you haven't noticed, you need one to win a Super Bowl. So I need sure things. I'll take chances on a crazy pass rusher. Yeah. I'll take chances on a diva wide receiver. I ain't taking a chance at quarterback. I want the sure bet guy.
Yep. Well, they've put themselves in a situation like I don't think Brock Purdy gets you a Lombardi this year. I just don't think his ceiling's that high. Talking about ceilings. So if you're San Fran, your window's closing. We talked a little bit about options they could have in the offseason. Do you go after a Kirk Cousins if he's available? I think so. I think you plug him into that offense, you're probably in good shape. However, I think he ends up having a great year and staying with Minnesota. You take Cousins out of it. What options do they then have at quarterback to try to go get this thing before their window is completely done? Or have they put themselves in a situation where they're just kind of shit out of luck?
I don't know who they go get.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
they could grab Sam Howell once Washington lets him go.
I would have went, that guy blows. I would have went, listen, if I was San Francisco, I don't know why they didn't pull the trigger for Derek Carr.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
You know what I mean? That to me was a great fit.
Or try to lure Aaron.
How close was Baltimore to giving in to Lamar? I don't know, but if I'm San Francisco, again, the window's only open so long.
Yep, agree.
So to say I just can't envision Brock Purdy, though I like him, and I do like him, I can't envision him hoisting a Lombardi.
I can't.
I can't picture that.
Yep. And maybe we're wrong. Hey, we've been wrong before, so we'll see how it goes. Before. All right, we're going to hit some rapid fire ones here. Zeke to the Patriots. What do you think?
I mean, ask AJ on that one. I got no comment.
AJ, what you got? I said rapid fire, and he just clams up on me.
Oh, yeah,
God,
sure.
Both of you. What the hell's going on?
No, I mean.
Well, I mean, it's Belichick and O'Brien. Do we really know what? Like, I don't know what I mean,
they're going to run the football.
They just look like crap against the Houston Texans. I know it's preseason, but like, I saw nothing out of. I don't know what they're doing.
Mac Jones didn't even play. Was Zappy played?
But yet they're competing for again, the whole thing. I have no idea what.
Hey, maybe San Fran, if Zappy takes the starting job, maybe they can lure Mac away from New England. Get their guy.
Mac Jones could hoist the Lombardi for San Francisco.
I agree.
I still believe in Mac Jones. I just don't believe in him in New England.
We talked about it a couple of weeks ago, and it boggles my mind that they didn't draft him because he is everything that they need in that San Fran system.
That's who
he is a perfect plug. I know.
That's
it's a perfect plug and play. They just screwed it up. So, all right. Next one. Dalvin Cook leaves South Beach and is headed to New York. He's a Jet. How do you feel about this one? I'm surprised he ends up in New York.
Yeah, as far as Jake's concerned, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. You know what I mean? But
All
the
right.
Jets, I mean, does it really matter? I mean, you can't block for him or Hall, so.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Saleh obviously ripping the Jets O-line. They looked really, really bad.
Oh, look, I mean, folks, again, I hate to be Captain Obvious, America's Captain Honesty. Didn't we all know this was going to be the issue?
Yeah,
I mean,
it was
we
gonna be one of
act
them.
like this is breaking news. This is why I said I have reservations, because Rodgers can't move. Zach Wilson, Mike White, younger guys, they could move. I don't have the same, like, they got all these great things, and I do stand by Salah ripping them. I think he was absolutely in the right. But on the other hand, like, there's no way to fix this problem now for this year.
Yeah, it's true.
You're
You're out of time.
You're married to it. So is going and getting Dalvin Cook, I mean, I don't understand how I would rather them be on the phone trying to figure out a left tackle and a guard.
Yeah, true. I agree.
Because what if Aaron Rodgers starts getting hit? Because he didn't get hit in Green Bay.
Not really.
Listen, Aaron Rodgers, this whole thing has been a beautiful, beautiful honeymoon.
Shit.
But listen, remember Tom Brady, the GOAT, the greatest ever?
Mm-hmm.
The guy that nobody will ever surpass, not even Mahomes. So, Espen, you can get off that train too.
Oh, God. They suck.
Tom Brady's the greatest ever. Nobody will ever touch him. Remember how, like, he would get mad and throw the ball right into the ground, pissed off when the blitz would come, like, before they hit him?
Uh-huh.
And if he got hit, listen, getting hit after 38, 40 years old feels a whole lot different than 25.
It does, yeah.
So if Aaron Rodgers gets tagged a few times, I'm telling you, the house of cards is going to start crumbling very quickly. Jets better figure it out. Jets fans, don't get too high. Stop talking Super Bowl. You can't win a Super Bowl with that offensive line.
Yeah, I agree.
Just telling you.
All right, obviously, some scares.
As T.O. would say, get your popcorn ready. Show's about to start.
Some scares in Chiefs camp. Obviously, Justin Ross went down with a leg injury. He was back today for the Chiefs. How concerned are we with the wide receiver position in Kansas City?
I think if you're not concerned, you're out of touch with reality. I mean, listen.
What options do they have at this point?
Justin Ross, Alabama kid, ended up picking Clemson. I watched him at Clemson in that national championship game against them. He was dynamic, got hurt, came back, dynamic, got hurt. He's had injury problems his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sky Moore's a nice piece.
I do.
He's the number 3.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, he just is.
No, I got you.
Kadarius Toney has been hurt his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think he's not with the Giants? You think they could use a receiver for Daniel Jones? I mean, they were quick to get off of him. But even Kadarius Toney, at his best, is a slot 3. They don't have a guy on the roster that is a number 1 or a number 2 receiver for any team on the league.
Yeah.
They just don't. And I still think, yes, you have Pat Mahomes. Yes, you have Travis Kelce. Yes, you have a good offensive line, can run the ball. But, man, you're just putting a lot on Mahomes that I don't know if he can do.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he's not great. Doesn't mean I don't think he's the best quarterback in the league. However, when you're throwing to a bunch of nobodies, do we have the faith that he can turn Sky Moore into what Brady turned Wes Welker and Julian Edelman into? I don't.
Yeah.
Can he turn Kadarius Toney, who's injury prone, into Deion Branch? I don't think that. Right? So, like, I think the Chiefs really, really missed the boat. And is an even bigger thing, to look at the wide receiver position and look at how bare that is and how they could struggle, you need that defense to be top notch. And the fact that Chris Jones doesn't have a deal yet, I'm very concerned.
Yeah. And the Chris Jones thing, I think they've really tried to offer him what he wants. They've tried to give him the contract that he wants. He's hung up on terms and like.
I'm telling you right now, 6.5 points is way too much to lay to the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't care if you are raising the banner. The team that's raising the banner ain't the same team that won it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I still think Kansas City wins the division, right? By sheer fact of Russell Wilson blows, the Raiders are the Raiders, and the Chargers got two 12-year-olds that don't know how to use a key to unlock a door.
Yeah.
So I think they're safe this year. But, man, they are flirting with the line here.
Yep. All right, next one. I think you touched on a little bit. Colts name Richardson QB1. Yeah.
Who cares?
I mean, we expected it, but and Jonathan Taylor could be on his way back to Colts camp. Do we think he plays this year?
Yeah, he's got to play because look, Le'Veon Bell's the only one that tried this set out thing. It costed him millions, and Le'Veon Bell came out and said, "Hey, it was a horrible decision." Yeah. Like, you can only stand up for so long, and then money talks. Now, the only thing that would change Jonathan Taylor not playing is if somebody lets Irsay get a hold of his phone and starts texting or tweeting or
saying
doing what Irsay
stupid.
does. So it's kind of like Trump's phone, right? You just got to take it from him and throw it in the ocean.
Yeah,
right.
You're not wrong.
So that's what the whole Colts front office needs to do: is somebody steal Irsay's phone and let's bury that thing right under Jimmy Hoffa and right under Aaron Boone.
Yep,
underneath Old Yankee Stadium.
Yep. All right. Ravens star corner Marlon Humphrey is going to miss the first month with injury. How big of a loss is this for Baltimore?
I think that's a big loss. He's a stud corner, but look, if you let everybody tell it, Lamar Jackson and OBJ are the second coming of Jerry Rice and Joe Montana.
All right, we're going to jump in. Oh, no, last one. Joe Burrow will be ready for week 1. Obviously, he had the injury scare in camp, but all signs are he will be ready to suit up for week 1. Would we rush Joey back, or would we give him a little time to get 100% right?
You don't have time to let him get 100% right. Did you see who the backups are? Do you know who the backups are?
I don't.
Neither do I. That's why he's got to play.
All right, I'm just saying. Who do they play week 1? Do we even know? Anybody?
They're at the Browns. Very tough game. They're laying 2.
Yeah, he's got to play. All right.
It's a very tough game. Bengals got a very tough schedule.
All right, let's look at a little preseason, then recap for week 1. We'll jump through some of these. Sean McVay singing Stetson Bennett's praises after he goes 7 of 29 for 191 yards. Bennett looked good. Bennett looked very good.
Listen, when you're 37 and have the experience he does playing against a bunch of 19, 20-year-olds, it's easy to look good.
Yep. He did, though. I was impressed with Bennett. I thought he came out. He looked comfortable. And
again, most of these kids have had 2 years of college. He's had 21.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had as many years as Georgia as Brady had in the league.
Yeah. Jesus. All right. Derek Carr looking really good for the Saints. Are we excited for New Orleans?
Saints are going to be if Dennis Allen cannot be Dennis Allen for the first time in his coaching career, Saints could be scary good. Huh? If John Gruden was the coach of the Saints, they would be my pick to go to the Super Bowl out of the NFC.
Oh, wow. All right.
I like their personnel on both sides of the ball that much.
All right. Interesting.
And I think Derek Carr is a winner, and I think he's been underrated his whole career.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I do. I don't think he gets quite the accolades he deserves. All right, we'll look at the Bears. Obviously, people are excited. Justin Fields has a decent performance. Little touchdown.
He was
DJ
3
Moore.
for 3 on 3 screen passes that went for a total of 150 yards.
Hey, man, look, he completed 3 out of 3. That is progress.
They were all behind the line of scrimmage.
Hey, take the wins where you can get them. Don't ask questions. All right.
The Bears, listen, all you people in the Bears, you got to get over it.
Yep. All right. The Steelers and Kenny Pickett, they looked good. Pickens looked really good. I think Pittsburgh's going to be sneaky good this year for sure.
Well, I want to see him play Buffalo this week, see how they look. I mean, they were playing the Buccaneers, which means Todd Bowles was the head coach, which means, you me and AJ could have scored 24 on them in the first quarter. So,
interesting things out of the Bucs too. They still have not picked who their starting quarterback's going to be. It looks like Trask is going to get the start this week. Baker got the start last week. So they are still trying to figure out who's going to be under center for the Buccaneers.
Rumor is they're trying to get Sean King back, even though the last time he played, I was in high school.
Okay, well, hey. All right, CJ Stroud, mixed thoughts on him. Looked like he struggled a little bit, got popped a couple times, got that welcome to the NFL.
No mixed thoughts at all. He's going to be a bust, just like I said. He plays at Ohio State. I haven't seen one yet do anything in the league. But
Also not wrong.
We're so hopeful of Justin Fields and C.J. Stroud. We want to see him succeed from Ohio State. They blow. Move on. Listen, this is what you'll hear next year with the first pick in the NFL draft. The Houston Texans select.
All right.
Caleb Williams.
Russell Wilson is still broken. Sean Payton has not fixed him. Not sure if he is fixable. He sucks. Like, not good at all.
Listen, when you got to play your starters deep into the second quarter against the
in the first preseason
Arizona Cardinals, I mean,
not good.
I got more, like, I was hopeful of this, right? Because I'm a huge Sean Payton guy. You guys,
they did have a nice pick though. The defense had a nice interception that looked pretty good.
But like, I watched that and I was just like,
not good.
Man, this is like you're getting outplayed by Colt McCoy and Tune right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Russell, hey, bro. Well, I mean,
I told you, I said it. I think this is Russell Wilson's last year in Denver. He is broken. I don't know at what point he became broken, but he does not resemble the Russell Wilson we watched years ago that was so dominant in any capacity. It's like he's forgotten how to play quarterback. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he bumped his head along the way or what, but he looks all out of sorts.
Listen, to watch him out there on the field, it wasn't Broncos country let's ride. It was Brokeback Mountain let's ride. Because he got bent over the Bronco. Yeah. And things were done to him that are just not fair to an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, God.
Ain't that right, Hank?
All right. The Chargers, obviously, we rag on them a lot here. Tons of weapons, tons of talent. Are they going to underachieve like we expect?
Listen, their receiving corps is the best in the league, right? If they're healthy. Allen, Mike Williams, now you got freaking Thompson at TCU, the other TCU wide out, Jordan Palmer, I mean, Eckler. The Chargers are loaded, and they got Justin Herbert. That's a top 5 quarterback.
Yep.
Again, the Chargers should win that division.
Talent,
they have a better defense and a better offense.
Yeah.
Problem is, and I say they have a better offense, but Mahomes is still better than Herbert. That's not what I'm just saying. Offensively and defensively,
offensive weapons. I get what you're saying.
The problem is the Chiefs have a top 5 all-time coach, and the Chargers got 2 kids that don't even have their freaking learner's permit to drive yet. That's the issue.
Yeah. All right. Next one here, Jordan Love.
Pinky in the brain. That's what I'm going to start calling him too. Pinky in the brain.
That was such a good show.
It's Staley and
love that show.
It was such a good show. Yeah, that's fantastic. Man, that was a blast from the past. All right, Jordan Love with the Packers. He looked good. I mean, he looked better than I expected. I get it's week 1 in the preseason, so I'm going to curb my expectations a little bit. But he did look good.
He had the tight end wide open over the middle, and just throw got away. It was a horrible throw. But outside that, I thought he looked good. Listen, Green Bay's a really good team. Mm-hmm. That's a really good roster.
Ton of talent. Yep.
Offensive line's really good. That defense, they keep drafting defense after defense. That defense is really good. You still got Aaron Jones and Dillon in the backfield. You know, I love Christian Watson and what he did last year. I love Dobbs out in Nevada, the other receiver. Like, they got the tight end.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here. if Jordan Love somehow, and I'm not saying that I expect this is going to happen, but just hear me out. What if he takes the Packers to the playoffs and wins a playoff game? What does that mean for Aaron Rodgers, really? Because he couldn't do it. Hasn't been able to for the last several years. If Jordan Love makes it to the playoffs and the Packers win a playoff game, how big of a like?
Well, that just means somebody spiked Rodgers Kawasaki. That's all.
He's back to saying it wrong, AJ.
No, ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca.
Motor oil.
Motor oil. Yeah.
Ayahuasca.
Valvoline. What?
An interesting thought. Nobody needs to say
Listen,
anything.
I still think the Packers. I think the Packers finish in front of the Bears in that division. Still,
yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
This whole Bears are going to win the division. There is a lot of drunk and people on crystal meth in the city of Chicago. Apparently, like meth is and narcotics are running wild.
You're probably not wrong. Probably is happening. But
listen, they need to make an episode. A joint, you know how they do those joint episodes with Chicago PD and Chicago Fire based off of everybody doing way too many drugs and burning down buildings thinking this is the year of the Bears.
Yeah.
And just do a whole episode around that.
All right.
And then they'll realize, crap, the Bears suck as bad as the White Sox still. Crap.
Yeah, those pesky White Sox. All right, John, I think you got something here for us that upset you this week. The Athletic and their top 15 players under the age of 25.
Pencil pouch and non-athletic people. Is it how you could go against the Prince beyond me. Did you see the list?
No, pull it up. I thought you would have it. You are not prepared.
This
was your thing, man. You were passionate about this and you're not even ready.
No. I was so outraged.
I'm sure you were.
So it was the top 15 players under 25?
Yep. Yeah. Top 15 under 25.
Which I do have to say, I will give them credit, right? Okay. So I don't agree, or hold on, let me rephrase that. I do agree with number 1, Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
Can't argue with that. Number 2, you'll hear no arguments from me. Micah Parsons.
Yeah,
probably the best defense player.
Do you hear he's gotten in trouble in training camp because he's hit Dak a few times? Like he's gotten all amped up and
he's just saying, "Look, the guy's too stupid to read other teams' defenses. I might as well get my licks in."
Yeah,
he can't even read our base defense. But now here's where I have an issue. Nick Bosa, number 3 of the Niners, he's better than Lawrence.
Dude, Bosa's filthy.
Bosa can't even play a whole freaking flipping year.
But when he does, he's electric.
Okay. Patrick Surtain, number 4, the corner of the Broncos. He's better than Lawrence?
So look, your whole issue with this list is just where Trevor Lawrence is.
Number 5.
Okay. It makes sense now.
Number 5 should have been number 3, Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is behind Surtain and Bosa.
I don't agree with that. No.
Number 6, Justin Herbert. Are you freaking kidding me? Did nobody watch the playoff game? Lawrence spotted him 27 points and came back and whooped that. Hey!
Was that? Yeah. I think that was also just
Quinnen
an
Williams?
awful called game by the Chargers in the second half.
Quinnen Williams, number 7, defense tackle of the Jets. Yeah. Jalen Hurts, number 8 for the Eagles. Listen, this guy should have been number 3 or number 4. Sauce Gardner at 9.
That's low. Very low.
Sauce should have been 3 or 4, him and Jamar Chase. Number 10, Tristan Wirfs, tackle of Tampa. Are you kidding me?
Who?
Yeah, that's what I said. Number 11, Jake had to be on this panel. Jalen Waddle. Jalen freaking Waddle's number 11. Then Andrew Thomas, offensive tackle for the Giants, is at 12. I don't even know who the hell that is. He's so irrelevant. Number 12 is freaking Dexter Lawrence, which, it's all good. He can be there. He throws, chicks on top of AK-47, so it is what it is, right? Number 14. Are you kidding me? CD Lamb. CD freaking Lamb.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb. And then the Prince is 15th.
Yeah,
Folks,
so
I hate to tell you, but do you realize after week 8 of last season, who the highest rated quarterback in the NFL was?
I'm guessing
Who beat out Pat Mahomes? Can anybody tell me?
I'm guessing it's your boy toy.
Trevor Lawrence. He can get down 27 in a playoff game. He's unflappable. If you watched him at Clemson, against Alabama, unflappable.
I get you love the guy.
Jacksonville with a coach, unflappable. He did all that, mind you, in a brand new system, brand new coach, without a top receiver. And now, I think people forget what Calvin Ridley was before he found what FanDuel was. All right. Yeah. Calvin Ridley, they were talking about Calvin Ridley in Atlanta like they talk about Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. Now, I don't think he's that good, but I think he's the third or fourth best receiver in the league when he's on his game.
Yeah.
So now you're going to give Lawrence that guy? Like, you're going to give him that guy now. I'm just saying, to make him 15th, I love it. Talk to me when we're coming down the stretch and he's in the top 3 of the MVP voting.
All right.
Because the guy is a badass. Thor is a badass.
Does he know how much you love him? Like,
he should. I ordered his jersey this morning.
Did you really?
I did. But a couple other issues I got with this list. Like, because y'all heard the names. Josh Jacobs, 17th. How's he that far down? Right? Jonathan Taylor, 23rd. DK Metcalf, 22. How is DK Metcalf behind Dexter Lawrence of the Giants and CeeDee Lamb? Who in their right mind thinks CeeDee Lamb is better than DK Metcalf?
I don't.
I mean, I'm just saying. Right. And how Nick Bosa third, listen, way too much credit. Listen, they already want to put both of the Bosas in the Hall of Fame. I like them, but let's be real. Nick Bosa, he's not better than Charles Haley at this point. And we already want to put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. All right. We're going to jump to our next one here. We're doing our NFL division breakdown. We have the NFC North tonight. Of course, I wore the nice Vikings t-shirt to rep my NFC team. How do we see this one shaking out? I think the Vikings and Lions are the two classes of this division. I do agree with you. I think Green Bay finishes ahead of Chicago. I think the Bears finish last. I see there was two big weaknesses Minnesota had last year. Defensively, they were not very good outside that first game where they just beat Aaron Rodgers up. Defensively, they really struggled. And then the offensive line, AJ and I talked about, if you've watched quarterback, Kirk Cousins just took an absolute beating every game. If they can fix the defense and the offensive line, the Vikings could hoist a Lombardi with Kirk Cousins. I think he's good enough. Justin Jefferson is a beast. I expect big things out of the Vikings. I think they have their defensive coordinator that's going to help that defense get right. They need to protect Kurt because I think Kirk Cousins does not get it all the respect he deserves in this league. Not at all. And so I think this is going to be a big year for him. I'm a little surprised. I think him and the Vikings were trying to work out an extension. They only wanted to do 2 years guaranteed. He wanted 3 years guaranteed. I think Kurt has a good year and he stays with the Vikings. They figure out a way to get this thing done, but I expect big things out of Minnesota. Looking at Detroit, the way they played, especially in the second half of last year, I think you can expect big things out of them. This could be a fun one to watch. And two different teams maybe than we've seen in the past, obviously.
Why do you like Detroit so much?
I like the coach. I do. I like the coach.
What else do you like about him?
I like the uniforms. I think they look nice. Color scheme's great. I heard the stadium's really cool there in Detroit, so that'd be a fun thing. They have a below average quarterback, but I think coaching really is what's going to turn the tide for them. So
Yes, because Dan Campbell really looks like the guy that could draw it up on the whiteboard, doesn't he? I mean,
oh, absolutely.
You
just
look
puts
at him,
the fear
you
of
just-
God
you-
into you. Really,
you
is
just
what he
think
does.
Lombardi.
Yeah,
Listen.
absolutely.
I like Dan Campbell a lot, but the guy tried to put a damn lion on the sidelines in the NFL. I had to tell him no. Did you hear about this story?
They should have let him. Why not?
All right. Jared Goff is the reason they're winning.
No.
All right?
I mean, he's a reason. To say he's the sole
when
reason,
Jared
I think, is
Goff
inaccurate.
is right there in the MVP running behind Trevor Lawrence, y'all will be
You
like,
are out of your mind. What are you smoking? Jared Goff is
Let's-
not sniffing
you
the
know what?
MVP race.
You know what? Put Jalen Hurts on Detroit. Let's see what he does.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Jared Goff is not better than Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
I worry about your brain
Fair
sometimes.
enough.
It's like, did they just paint your apartment? Is the paint fumes getting to you? Blink
enough.
twice if you need help.
Either Minnesota or Detroit will wind up in the NFC Championship game because both of those quarterbacks are top 8, 9 quarterbacks in the league.
Jared Goff is not a top 8 quarterback.
Okay.
Kirk Cousins definitely is. I will 100% agree with you there. I think he is.
Jared Goff's been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I get that.
He had a winning record with the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, coaching. It's all about coaching, baby.
Right.
Yep.
That's why
Don't-
New England's going to be so good this year.
I think New England's going to be a lot better than people think. I really do.
Can't
Well,
be
I mean,
much
if they
worse
can
than
figure out
last
the
year.
starting quarterback thing. How is Mac Jones not the like? I don't know. I'm not going to get on that tangent. All right, so Vikings, obviously the class. I think.
Yeah, right now, according to FanDuel here, Detroit Lions plus 145 to win the division. Minnesota Vikings plus 270.
Ooh, really?
Green Bay Packers plus 350. And the Bears plus 430. So like I said, even Vegas says, nope, the Bears are still going to suck.
I'm surprised the Vikings aren't ahead of Detroit for that. I'm surprised.
A lot of people are down on Minnesota. They think
Why?
because they won so many one-score games last year, they were like, I don't know, 10-1 or something like that. That tide's going to turn.
But I think that defense is going to be substantially better.
That's what I think.
Really? I'm boring you that much?
Pretty much.
All right, what else you got for the NFC North? Or is that it?
No, I like Detroit. I like Minnesota. I think both of those teams make the playoffs. And let me tell you something.
Ah, shit.
You know, I've been thinking.
That's always dangerous. Whenever a
Been thinking.
sentence starts with "you've been thinking,"
I don't know if they're going to get the 7th spot. But I think coming down to the last 2 weeks of the season, Green Bay is going to be in the hunt for that 7th seed.
yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting. I will say, Love looked better than I expected. It's week 1 of the preseason. I'll be interested to see what he looks like this week. And then as we get into the regular season, because starters really don't play in the 3rd preseason game, it's kind of, this coming weekend is really the last time you're going to see the bulk of starters. So you get a better idea of what Jordan Love looks like. But it's going to take him, it's still the preseason. It's going to take him a few weeks before he's really got my vote of confidence. Now, I think they're going to be better than the Bears because they're the Bears. But I think if he continues to play like he did last week and has the command of the offense, didn't look like the seam was too big for him, made some good throws, looked comfortable in the pocket, made good decisions, was able to move around a little bit. If he's able to continue to do that, I think Green Bay's roster defensively and offensively is good enough to get them to the playoffs. So I would not be surprised to see them get a playoff berth. And down the stretch, because the roster is so good, I wouldn't write off the fact that they couldn't get in and get one playoff win in wild card weekend. I could see that. I could see them finding a way to win. And then that looks awful for Aaron Rodgers because he couldn't win a damn playoff game there. So
I think the Packers are going to be playing for that 7 seed.
Yep, I agree. I think they have the potential. I do.
Next week, I will release my full NFL playoff picture.
Okay.
Everybody will be very excited. Run to the window. Bet it.
Are you going to give us a little sneak preview here? You're just going to hold all the cards close to the vest?
Yeah, Minnesota and Detroit are both getting in. And Philly's getting in, and San Francisco's getting in. There you go. There's 4. 3 spots to go.
All right. All right, we are going to turn our attention then to a little John's betting corner. What nuggets do you have for us to send us off into the weekend?
Listen, football's coming up. Reach out, Jon at bccsports.com. If we don't have a winning record in September, you get half October off. That's one of the deals. Got a couple other things I can work through with you. NFL preseason, a little rough last week. We had the stupid Patriots go for 2 there at the end, kind of screwed us. So we ended up 1-4. That puts us at 2-4 on the preseason. But we're going to wheel back this week. So a couple free plays here. Chop, if you can write these down. I want to take a 2-team 7-point teaser. You ready?
No.
Oh, my gosh.
Hang on, you big baby. All right. Hold, please. All right, what we got? Free plays.
2-team 7-point teaser. Panthers plus 10 with the under 46.5 in that game.
So Panthers plus 10. And then what?
The under in that game, 46.5.
Under 46.5. Gotcha.
Yep. Then we're going to take another 2-team 7-point teaser. We're going to take the Dolphins to plus 10.5 with the Arizona Cardinals plus 14.5.
Okay.
All right. Then we're going to take the New York Jets on the money line minus 140. Because they're playing the Buccaneers, and again, anytime Todd Bowles is coaching, you just take the other side.
Yeah.
And I think the Jets respond well to Saleh. Right?
I do. I think
Jets,
they get it. They get it figured out.
They're 0-2. I think they respond. Next one, Pittsburgh Steelers money line minus 135. They host the Buffalo Bills. Again, I hate the Buffalo backup quarterbacks. I mean, when you're relying on Matt Barkley, I mean, ugh. I mean, does anybody really want to rely on Matt Barkley, for God's sakes? Ugh. No, they probably
add him to
they
the list
Jesus.
of people we'll never have on this show. Thank you.
Well, you know. And then this one, I don't understand it, but I'll take it. Give me the 49ers plus 5.5 at home against Denver. Look, Denver couldn't move the ball against Arizona. How in the world are they going to move it against San Francisco?
They're not going to. The answer
so,
is they're not.
I like that for them 100% for sure. And then I want to throw the Cards in another teaser. Again, Mahomes probably not going to see a lot of reps. I like Colt
First
McCoy.
half, actually.
I like Colt McCoy. I like Tune. So again, I'm going to take the Cards plus 14.5 and put them with the 49ers plus 12.5. Okay. So I like that. And then lastly,
Jesus, dude.
I know. Lastly, this is going to sound a little crazy, but give me the Washington Commanders plus 135 on the money line to end the streak of the Baltimore Ravens.
All right. Did you see that petition to get the Redskins to change their name back is over the 100,000 signature mark?
Yep. So 7 plays. So let's see what happens.
Good Lord. All right. Yeah, out of Kansas City, Andy Reid's saying starters will play the first half because they won't play in the third preseason game. So this is the last time you'll see him suit up.
I will be there with Sierra. She's never been to an NFL football game, so we're going over. I got tickets for $50, $55. Me and her to go, like
nice.
13 rows back.
Here in a couple weeks, I will be out in San Francisco, so I'm going to catch a couple Giants games. They get the Rockies on the weekend, and then I'll get to watch them play the Indians. So I've never been to that stadium. I've always seen pictures, heard it's a beautiful place, so I will be out there. If we have any listeners in the San Francisco area, let me know, and we can chat while I'm out there. So excited to see that ballpark, excited to watch some baseball. I haven't been to a baseball game this year, so I'm excited to go out and watch a little baseball, get a beer and a hot dog, and hang out there. So,
well, we all know you like
your
wieners.
I mean, I like a good hot dog just as much as anybody else. So,
right.
All right.
Jon at BCCSsports.com. Again, guys, guaranteed.
Sound like you had a wiener in your mouth there, buddy.
Oscar Mayas.
Yeah.
Guaranteed to have a great season, a winning season.
Yeah, for sure.
If not, I'll give you all the money back.
Let's just have a good season. How about that? Like, let's make it easier on the accounting department, and let's just have a good season. What do you say?
I'm just looking. I just want people that are willing to win.
Yep.
Like if you're just going to be recreational and you don't want to make money, don't call or email me. I'm not for you. I'm only for people that want to listen and be disciplined and truly make money.
Yeah. Or if you're going to text us after every single loss, we're not your guys.
Yeah.
All right. We put a lot of time. We put a lot of work into this. Not every game is going to be a winner. If you think that's the case, you're out of your mind. You
will find nobody that has a better win-loss record in football.
No.
If you do, I'll commit suicide on national television. That's how confident.
Jesus. All right, man. God, you always got to go so dark. Just like keep it light and fun.
I like
and
living
happy.
in the worst case scenario.
Apparently. Oof. All right.
It's either that or I hook up with Ursay and we get some cocaine.
Cocaine. All right. That's the show for us. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Of course, we always enjoy bringing it to you. Send us any questions you have. We'd love to get back to doing live questions. We haven't done that in a while. So send those to info@bccs.com. Send any questions that you have. We'll answer them live on the show. And then obviously reach out to John. You have questions on packages or want to get signed up. Look, we are only a couple weeks away from regular season football kicking off. Week 0 of college football is next weekend. The time to jump on this is now. Start out now. Ride the whole season from now until March 31st. So it's time to get on the horse here, folks. We are right here at college football and the NFL start, and you don't want to miss out on this stuff. We had a hell of a college season, great NFL season. This is the time of year you don't want to miss. I get baseball's not everybody's cup of tea, but now it's football time, and this is where the big boys play. So time to get on board. Let us help you. That's what we started this thing for in the beginning. We want to help you. We know there's a lot of services out there that all they want to do is take your money, where we actually want to make sure you win, and we want to take care of you and help you along the way. So reach out to us. Thank you so much for the support. We appreciate it. Drop us a review wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify. Leave us a review, 5 stars if you really enjoy the show. That helps us out a lot. So go out there and do that, and send us a message. We'd love to hear from you. So thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Fall is right around the corner here, the end of summer. Only a couple weekends of summer left here. So enjoy the time with your family. Get out and do something fun. Enjoy the weather. God bless you guys, and we will be back with another episode with you next week.
Love you, my winners.